Yo, okay, that's telling how we view or do one thing is how we do everything. You have a tough time with change.
Yeah.
Well, hey, guess what's going to happen? You're going to go through something, and then this new teacher may bring out even another level within you. Then you'll be like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
People never admit that though,
Yeah.
right? But like,
Yeah.
I want us to really, like, as we're going through this, I want people to recognize and understand when we're talking about this, it's free of it being like, oh, this is a bad thing. No, uncertainty is going to jostle you. It's going to try to take you out of your environment, throw you off balance. How do you stay motivated in that? Because, we talk entrepreneurial things, we talk health things. It's all the same wagon.
Yeah.
Right? How we do one thing is how we do everything. So when stuff gets freaking rocky, you can use the uncertainty as opportunity. Oh, babe. Oh, I got the electricity going, baby.
You're like Raiden from Mortal Kombat.
Boy, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it, man. Welcome to everyone. This is the More Than Black or White Health Podcast. We are your hosts. I am Paul. I am an author, facilitator, and champion for people's health and well-being with my co-host, Benny.
All right. Entrepreneur, explorer of wisdom, and a student of the universe. Those are my three for today.
Yeah, we got to rock it in the B-boy stance, almost like, yeah, buddy. My guy, man, big. I'm telling you right now, I am experiencing a lot of excitement for this topic today because I think this is a topic that most people can relate to.
Yeah.
And if right,
it's gonna be a therapy session for a lot of people.
Yes. And it may be for me as well.
We all need therapy. We all need therapy. No one's I haven't met anybody, including myself, that does not need therapy.
Bruh, you know what?
We're all fucked up in some way,
So true. And we have yet to do an episode on therapy. Bruh. Hold on.
We should do an on-site hypnosis therapy where we're both on the couch and somebody just like talks. Man, I would spend the whole time in my childhood.
Oh, bruh. Okay, we got some stuff. Okay, we got a planning session coming up too, where we're putting it on the roadmap.
That's it.
So, yes, man. So, hey, listen, if you're here returning, welcome back. Thank you for support as always. If this is your first time joining us, thank you for joining us. This podcast is to support you in being an advocate for your health and well-being. We're here to provide you with data, stats we find, our perspectives, our experience. A lot of years we got. So listen, get your notepad, like, share, subscribe. I'm sure we're going to go over some gems about how to stay motivated in times of uncertainty. So first things first, what is uncertainty? B, how would you even describe that, man?
I think the simplest definition is not knowing like where you're going to end up or not knowing what's going to happen. And that's kind of like it leads into anxiety. And I think the term for anxiety is not knowing basically what's going to happen, right? People get anxious because they don't have the trust in the universe kind of helping them out, right?
It's really, I think that's a big piece, man. Like that trust, right? They don't know what's going to happen. Like, I'm going to speak for myself. Like, when the things are uncertain, I'm like, yo, what the heck?
Yeah.
What do I prepare for? Because we're set to be in safety, right? Like,
yes.
Oh man, I gotta make sure everything is sound. But like, if something's if something's off, or if I sense something's off, there's a part of me that wants to prepare for it. But if I don't know what the heck to prepare for, I'm stressing the hell out, man.
Yeah.
Like, brother, what's your thoughts on that, man?
Well, I remember you talking about that back in a few episodes ago, where you're talking about, having that safety was a big part of us kind of evolving as humans, right? Because you get eaten by something, you get killed by something, you break something. There's no doctors to go to. You're out in, your hunter-gatherer days or caveman days. So that played definitely a role. But to this day and age, you can't grow, you can't evolve, you can't fulfill your dharma if you just play it safe all the time. So you need to kind of step out of your comfort zone. You have to be uncertain. And then that's when the real magic happens. That's when you start actually being your true self, not the self you see in the mirror. This is the deeper ores or deeper layers of vibration that we all have.
Yeah, man, ooh, taking a pause. I dig when B is talking that Dharma vibration talk, son. Ooh, bro, I think, oh man, this is, and I'm in alignment with everything you just said, bro. And this is, I think this is why it's important that we talk about these things, because everything is uncertain. Like,
yeah,
everything is uncertain. Like, so it's more of, and what are the ways we manage that uncertainty? Like, what, because it could be economic, it could be like this global. I mean, like right now, at the time of this recording, they're talking about drones, or like whatever that thing is flying up top. It could be a collective illusion, another podcast topic, but it could be a whole bunch of things, right? But like when we talk about the uncertainty like that, listen, B, like, let me ask you, man, before we go in, just to get like, this to start the therapy session. Can you remember like a time when things were uncertain, that first time that you busted through something uncertain? Can you recall
a
like
lot
an
of times,
experience?
like, I mean, you can definitely relate. You're an entrepreneur, so it's like when you have big goals, and I don't like to play it safe. I take calculated risks. I take risks, but they're calculated risks. And sometimes I'm like, I had no idea if this is going to make it work or not, but I'm going for it. I'm going to put trust in it, and I know, that's just my faith. Like, I know if I don't believe in failure. Like, I believe in you're learning something, and next time you come around, you just you're just, the saw is more sharpened, and you can execute better. But when I decided to, like, firmly about 10 years ago, be like, fuck the W-2 jobs, fuck being an employer. They don't, at the end of the day, they don't give a shit about you. You're just an employee number. And I wanted to become an entrepreneur. That I had a lot of uncertainty of it, because I've tried other things with different partners, and I failed along the way. And at the time, I didn't realize. I mean, I kind of, everyone like told me, "Oh, failure is a lesson," but it's you don't fail, but you learn something. But to me, it was like just words. I didn't really feel it until I started really getting into it. But it wasn't until I decided to make that shift where, like, I'm going to put everything in my hands. I'm not going to trade my time in for money anymore. I want to be smart. I want to be wealthy. I want to have money where I can do all the things, like, in the lifestyle I want. Like, we talked about this in a past episode, where, like, we're so, like, trained in our educational systems and in our tribe growing up to basically, hey, go to school, work hard, get a good job, and then, buy a house, and all of a sudden, like, whatever's money's left over, that's when you have your lifestyle. That's how you create your lifestyle. That's why people are upset, man. That's why people are depressed. They're anxious. They're suicidal. There's so much crap out there, like mental illness.
Right.
I turned it around and was like, I shouldn't say me, but like, I found a good mentor who was like, you find out what you want in your life, what kind of lifestyle you want, then create jobs around that. And now that's when, like, a switch went off. I was like, and that was kind of like what you're saying. Like, I was like, how the fuck do I do that? Like, that's because that's unheard of. I'm like the part of the 1% of 1% of people that think like that, or have that idea. But until I started really getting into it, and again, building businesses, crashing, build the next business, crash, and I got, it's like, life's all about hills and valleys. But after a while, like, you take these hills, then it starts going a little higher, right? And then you learn each time you do it. But again, 10 years ago, can I get back to your point? It wasn't until about 10 years ago, I was just sick and tired of getting treated like shit at work, no matter how great my numbers were or whatever like that. You're only as good as last month's numbers, and you're expendable anytime, and working my ass off 60, 70, 80 hours a week for what? A 2-week vacation a year. It just didn't make sense to me. Didn't make sense to me. So I had to jump the wagon, and I knew I wouldn't, if I kept going down this way, I wouldn't be a good father. I wouldn't be a good husband.
Yeah,
I'd be
man.
miserable. You
Mm,
know. So
mm. Man, brother, man, and thank you for sharing that, man. Because there's a lot of gems I wanna just extract, and then I got another question for you, for both of us actually.
yeah,
But I thought it was really interesting because a couple of things you said, like having that big goal, and you and I were talking about that in the pregame for a different reason. But when we were talking about it, I thought it was so important because it keeps things aligned. So even when everything is all rustling around, when I have a big goal, I can still focus on that goal and tune some of these things out. Like if I, like you know to share that part of it, you like to clear out the white noise. I heard you say,
yeah,
right? Because
yeah.
that's the stuff that starts to take you off, and that can start to rattle you and make you be like, oh god, things are gonna
Yeah.
crash. Like,
But
you know
it's
what I'm
fun.
saying?
It's fun. It's exciting. Like,
Well,
for
yes.
example, like this is the way my mind works. Like, I had
Mm-hmm.
somebody that came up to me the other day, goes, "I want to get a food truck going." And I was
Okay.
like, "Oh, what's your end goal?" He's like, "Oh, I just want to like be in a local area and like have a food truck, maybe sell a few sandwiches and stuff like that. Stuff that that I can quit my other job and do this permanently." My mindset is like, how do I fucking franchise this, be in every single state, and eventually be in like in all, like not all seven continents, obviously, but like spread it out international. That's my mindset. And when you think that big, and you start like, all right, how can I do this, and what kind of funding do I need, or how do I, create, partnerships with people, because you can't do it by yourself, and you learn all this stuff. That's the way my mind works. And then when
Right.
you think big, you just can't fit anything else in your head. If you think small and just be like, oh, I want to sell a couple sandwiches, then that shit's going to leak through. All that
Yeah.
BS is going to leak through. And then when you have all that internal dialogue, or all that white noise coming through,
Yeah.
to me, that's a sign of the universe that you're not living to your fullest potential, because you're
Yeah.
not thinking big enough. You
Yeah.
know. So whenever I like feeling uncertainty. And like, I like that, because it's almost like that optimal anxiety that we talked about a couple episodes ago, right? Like, you want to get a little
Oh
anxious.
yes.
You want to be a little nervous, because if
Yes.
you're not, it's like, what's the point of like doing what you're doing? Because you're not growing. It should be exciting, you
You
know?
would think, right? Well, that's that one piece. That's another piece I wanted to bring in is that uncertainty can be a motivator. Because like
Yeah,
Howard, I was hearing you talk, man, like, and I want to make sure people understand that because I judge that uncertainty for most people is like, oh my God, uncertainty sucks. I can't stand it. Really? Hold up. Uncertainty may jostle up some stuff that will bring out the best in you. Like we're
yeah,
talking about like the people in class, right? Like the people that was taking my Sunday class. Oh, I'm upset. Yo, okay, that's telling me how we view or do one thing is how we do everything. You have a tough time with change.
yeah,
Well, okay, hey, guess what's going to happen? You're going to go through something, and then this new teacher may bring out even another level within you. Then you'll be like, oh my gosh.
yeah,
People never admit that though,
yeah,
right? But like
yeah,
I want us to really like as we're going through this, I want people to recognize and understand when we're talking about this, is free of it being like, oh, this is a bad thing. No, uncertainty is going to jostle you. It's going to try to take you out of your environment, throw you off balance. How do you stay motivated in that? Because we talk entrepreneurial things, we talk health things. It's all the same wagon, right?
yeah,
How we do one thing is how we do everything. So when stuff gets freaking rocky, you can use the uncertainty as opportunity. You can say, shoot, man, like, okay, this can motivate me to do this. And also, you said something that I think was so interesting. You said this before. What do you want? Then how do you create? Then what are the ways you create a life around that?
yeah,
Right. And
yeah,
most people like, and that right there, that's like some Simon Sinek, like Wayne Dyer stuff. You feeling it all in the feels. Neville Goddard, right? Like it's start the secret is feeling.
yeah,
When you're on that vibe,
yeah. And people play, when I ask people what they want, when I do
mhm,
coaching with people, I'm like, what do you want? They play it so small. Like,
Yeah,
like,
man.
oh, I just want to make maybe like $100,000 and have a good job and work, and maybe like take a vacation every year. I'm like, you don't want that. Like you want to be financially free, bedtime of your kids, to take 2 6-month vacations a year if you can, drive around nice cars. You want to have nice houses. Like you're like the universe wants you to succeed. Like it's so hard to hammer this home on people. It's like because it's just so much shitty programming that we have in us that it's so tough. Like for me, it was like when I figured out what I want. I'm like, all right, I want to clear tax free like $250,000 a year. I can do everything that I want to do. Then once I hit that, I'm like, I want to clear $1 million a year tax free after everything is paid off. Then once I do that, I'm going to be like, I want to do 5 million. It's like, and you just keep growing and growing, and it's that's the way you got to do. And the bigger the goal you have, that's then the universe starts really supporting it because then
Yeah.
you start getting the lateral thinking. So just say like, I want to think small. Like, oh, I just want to make an extra $10 a day. And I'll be like $300 a month, and I'll be good. Paul, I can call you and be like, hey, Paul, can you Venmo me $10? Let me help you out. I'm sure you would. So that's easy. But if I need to make an extra, say, I want to make an extra $10,000. Now it's like, okay, what do I got to do? How do I make $10,000 or whatever? How much? What is that? $330 a day extra. Now it's going to involve some creativity. And then when you had that mindset, it's like, okay, you have to think big. And then again, like I kind of keep going back to this, you don't get that white noise. You're just focused on it. You're learning, you're educating yourself. And it's just like you meet people that are in that situation that where you want to be, or making 10x or 100x where you want to be. And those people motivate you. Those are your mentors, not the people in the background just fucking like, just put on this planet just to bother the shit out of you,
Yep.
but
Brother, speaking that truth, bro.
yeah,
No, man, listen, this is is I think it's really important. Because you mentioned actionable things, right?
yeah,
Like once you set the marker to, okay, I'm gonna get here. And I noticed like and people that follow the podcast, they've heard you talk about this before, like how you operate, you go backwards. Like you'll start
yeah,
from the top, then work backwards. Okay, so now this is what it breaks down to.
yeah,
What do I get? What do I get to do to bring this? Oh, okay, poop, 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 poop. And I also heard you say something which is key, is that most people go too small. Like Les Brown says, people aim too low and hit,
yeah,
right? And all of a sudden, it's just like, where it's like, and again, while it's still, you're doing great. Thank you for keep going for it. And it's like, it's still a mode of comfort because good and damn well you're gonna hit that piece. If you
yeah,
notice, if you rewind here, what Brian said, he's like, okay, I'm gonna clear 250. Then it's a million, right? It wasn't like, all right, I'll clear 250, then I'll clear 500. Nah.
no,
And then once you got to the million, it's like, yo, I'm gonna clear 5. It wasn't 2. So this is listen. So the reason why we talk about this is it's key to have the big goals. And I'm gonna share a piece here, which I allow myself to get distracted, right, by uncertainty. So when I first started the juices, right, it came out being Juice Dreams. I had this juice business, right? It was originally Juice Truck Dreams because my original concept was like, yo, man, I'm gonna get juice trucks. Yeah, there'll be sandwiches, but like, yo, there'll be fresh juice trucks, and I'm gonna leave it at that. Somebody could watch this and be like,
yeah,
not like anything, but it's a whole thing. So once I got into it, like I was so focused on that, then I was like, yo, man, it's gonna be great. I wasn't planning on launching that for like another 3 years, bro. Then like I was making juices to kind of test it out, and then people like start selling. Then I started getting into Juice Dreams. Then all of a sudden it was like, okay, let me just get juices out. I had the dream. Then it started to dwindle, and then it just became this, I gotta get juices out. And guess what happened? Because I got distracted by uncertainty, right? I was like, where's my next check gonna come from?
yeah,
Oh my God. Child support. I'm in arrears. I gotta get a job. Now, is it bad? It's new. I'm neutral about it because like I needed to do that to stabilize myself so I could get back to having the energy to do the other things. So
I look at it, but it's not bad though. So if you had to start all over with what you know now, do you think you'd be more successful?
oh, hands down, bro.
Well, what's bad about
Hands
that, man?
down.
You just went
No,
to you went to most people take 6 years to get an MBA, right?
yeah, I got it in two.
You learned that in fucking a year. And it saved you hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Bruh,
That's another rant I'm about to go on too. Most people don't go to business
you know,
school. Don't go to business school and waste $100,000. You know what you do? You go out and you become an entrepreneur for 2 years, learn what it's actually like to go to business school, then go to business school if you want to. Rant done.
bro. Yo, he was like, egg drop.
You know how many people that I know that have MBAs that are just absolutely horrible at business?
Bro.
Like Ivy League school MBAs. I have a buddy that mine went to Dartmouth, got an MBA.
Mm-hmm.
I had dinner with him and like three of his other friends. Two of them were Ivy League, and they're broke. I'm like, like I'm picking up the tab. I went to a 5-year community college, and I didn't get any degrees.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm more successful was I have action. I did action. I'm not just reading out of a book that a professor wrote that actually never did anything with business. But, all right, rage over. All right.
No. Okay, so now I'm gonna go on one, man, because like, bro, I was watching one of the other nights. I forget what it was. One of the nights I was waking up early as shit in the morning. I couldn't sleep, so I was watching Pluto TV. Bless up Pluto TV. And Rodney Dangerfield Back to School was on.
Oh man.
Yo, B, we gotta take a night and just watch that, bro.
We gotta do that.
It's so good.
I love that.
So, there's a piece in the movie, right? I'm not gonna give the whole thing away, but there's a piece in the movie where Rodney goes back to school with his son, and he's in a business class. And like this professor's like breaking down all the things, and then Rodney's like, "Yo, you gotta grease this cat's hand. You gotta look at permits," and he's like, "Oh." And then Rodney Dangerfield is showing talking about what the real is. Then you see the students turning around and writing down what he's saying, because he's been in the fire.
Yeah.
That's why I bring this up, because this is the piece about uncertainty, right? That really helps to hone you as a person when you learn to manage it. And this was, and B, this is actually interesting because this comes back to a question, a certain topic I wanted to touch on. Is when I heard you describing before, like your experience, I was hearing the more you kept going, you became conditioned to the uncertainty. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, like when you hear that term, like what comes to mind for you, like being conditioned to uncertainty, man?
You just get like this resilience. You get like this callus on the brain that like it's almost like you don't want things to go smoothly. That's when you're like, all right, this is too good to be true. Like somebody needs to fuck something up around here soon. Yeah, like I'm not like when I I've had people offer me I look at business deals, probably like a couple of times a month, and he's like, oh yeah, it's like X amount of ROI. You don't have to put a lot of money in there, and I'm looking at it, and I get excited about it, but I look into it, and I'm like, this is trash. Like what is this? But it's like you're looking for. I always try to look for a little uncertainty. That's exciting to me. It's exciting to me. You don't. To me, 45, probably got another half my life to go, and I want to have fun. I want to leave behind some good stories. I totally forgot what the question you were asking. But.
But no, you answered it because you were like, you just feel resilience on the brain, man.
Yeah, callous on the brain, and just go, have fun with it. And what's good about it another thing when you're thinking big, like go back to the food truck thing. Hey man, I want to franchise in multiple countries, not just in the US. It's like it's that saying, like you shoot for the stars, sometimes you just land on the moon, and it's like, okay, maybe I didn't do that, but now I have, 50 food trucks around the US. If you feel like I just want to sell a couple sandwiches and you fall a little short, you're going broke.
Bro, that's it, bro. That's it. So easily swayed by the stuff that comes up.
And the problem, people don't like to think big because they don't want to, from my experience, either they just have shitty programming in them or they have a shitty inner circle or a shitty tribe around them that's going to be like, well, I told you so, because you're going to fail. You will fail. If you're new at this, even if you're not new at them, I've talked to, people all the time that are make hundreds of millions of dollars a year, and they fail at things all the time throughout their business because they try to, they shoot bigger. But it's like you have to have a strong inner circle of people around you that know what it's like. Like if you're just hanging around a bunch of people that make not a lot of money. They say you're making like you're working at a grocery store and everyone's making say $40,000 a year, but then you come to them like, dude, I want to make $1 million in the next 5 years. How much support do you think you're going to get? Like it's not going to happen. It's gonna be tough. You're gonna. That's why you say like when you start having these big dreams and you start going down the entrepreneur, like really going down it, it's a lonely place, man. It's a really lonely place for at least for a couple years because people around you don't get it, and you can't hang out with them as much. I don't want to go out and get drunk, man. I'll go out once in a while, have a couple beers, but like I'm not doing that every other weekend anymore or every week. Like I'm not staying up till 11, 12 o'clock at night watching Netflix. I'm going to bed early so I can wake up early.
Yeah, man. Yes, bro. Yes. Well, let's chop it up about community when it comes to, and I'm not like, I gotta be, at this point, I think I could be frank. I'm not a huge fan of the word motivation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not like,
everyone's motivated.
Yeah.
No one has discipline is the main thing. Consistency and discipline.
Bro. I was going to say consistency. Yeah. Discipline, consistency to me is the same thing.
Yeah, I agree.
Stay in the freaking game, okay? Sure, you get knocked out. Like, I like, yo, you may get smacked up, man. You figure like head nod, like, oh shit. All right, okay, let me get up real quick. All right, perfect. Yeah. Let me get back on the routine, man. All right, wait, hold on. What went wrong? All right, I won't do that again. You know what I mean? But like most people fail to at least like stay in the game. So it's like, oh, I got to get motivated. So even the fact of why I get jacked up about it is like, even to say, hey, I need to get motivated means like I'm going to be activated by something outside of myself. Like, do I have to do, so what? I got to rely on some outside stimuli to get me there. That's bullshit. Like I can create this space and this stability so that no matter what, I'm good to go. But like, and I think part of that for me is having a community. Like, to me, like being able to do what we do here, this is community. We're creating this mastermind for people and entrepreneurs. That's going to be community where we can support people with the real shit. Like, and like, okay, like, hey, yeah, you're going through like, hey, yeah, I know it sucks. All right. So have you thought of this? Or like, hey, how can we support you? All right, this is what's next. What's the goal? Why didn't you make it? You know what I mean? Like, because that's where community comes into me, man. When I have my dudes that like, listen, for my men's group, we got to end our year. There's a couple goals I didn't hit this year, but I'm repurposing them for like, hey, I'm going to be here, here, here. They're going to hold me accountable for that. Well, what got in the way? Right? Yeah. If you have people in your circle that are like, oh my God, you're going to try to make 5 million. Huh?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Bruh. Yes. Yes. And I'm trying. I'm going to, man. Oh, this person. So, for you, man, like, because I know that you have some people. I know in the past you spoke about like your business partner, John. You spoke about some other people in your life. Like, what has been the importance of having those type of people in your life or throughout your life to help you get to where you are, man, right now?
A lot of people, like I try to hang out with people that, not to sound like shallow, but I want to make a lot of money. That's like one of my goals. It's not even I don't need a lot of money, but I want to make a lot of money because for me, like the more I make, it's like a score of like, it's not comparing to anything. It's like a score that I'm doing better each year. So just say 1 year I do $100,000. Next year, if I do 150, I'm like, all right, cool. I'm improving. I'm getting better at business. I'm getting better at investments. Next year, I want to maybe if I have 300,000, I'll set goals for myself. But 1 year, if I do say I make 500,000 next year, I make 400,000. I'd be like, all right, what went wrong? It's not like I'm like, I don't need a lot. Again, I don't need a lot of money. I take a base salary, but the rest back into businesses. But what was the question again?
It's like, what has been the benefit of you like
Oh
going
yeah.
to people like
So
this?
so the benefit of having these mentors is they know they've been where when I'm uncertain or
Yeah,
when I do fail at something or I crash at something or something just blows up in my face, they know what I'm already thinking because they've been there. And so they can be like, I've been there. This is what's going to happen next. Next time you got to do this. And that's important. But the problem is people don't have those mentors and they
yeah,
tell you to stick with it. Like, go, 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 go. Unless it's like a really shitty idea. Like, all right, you need to jump ship, do this. But most
yeah.
people,
Like a good mentor will do that shit, bro. They'll be like,
yeah.
no.
But most people are like serial entrepreneurs. Like they'll start a
Yeah,
business for like, well, they'll say let's start a business. To me, like a business, you got to make money. People, but they'll start something for like 2 or 3 months. Then something will happen, like a roadblock will get in the way. Be like, okay, I don't want to do this anymore. Let me go to this one. Then they'll start that, and then like nothing will happen. They're like, oh, let's do this. It's like that shiny toy syndrome. Like they like
mm-hmm.
the idea of talking to people and telling them how much of an entrepreneur they are because that's like the
Yeah.
sexy word, I guess. But
So one of the
they
week,
don't
man.
they don't have the discipline to sit with it, But when you just say I want to get into real estate, I don't own any real estate property. But what's one of my goals for next year to kind of get into real estate.
Yeah.
And if a year goes by where I didn't get any real estate properties, I want my inner circle around and be like, all right, what do you see for me that I'm doing wrong?
Yeah.
Is my math wrong? Is it I don't have the right connections? Is it I'm being too aggressive? I'm not being aggressive enough? Like, is it the marketplaces? Do I got to do more market analysis? Is my business plan bad? Like, what is going on? What do you see? Or how would you handle it if you were me? And you can get, man, that information is so valuable. And that's another thing. A lot of people don't like to be told they're doing something wrong. For me, I'm like, dude, write that shit rent out one of those signs on the freeway and tell me what I'm doing is bad.
Bruh.
I'll give you money. Rent a plane and have a banner. Brian doesn't know shit because he's not doing X, Y, and Z. Like I don't care. Like
Whatever you gotta do, man. Smoke signals. I don't give a shit. Yeah. I
yeah.
mean,
People are so defensive sometimes. Like no, you got to do this. You're not doing this. Listen, man. You're like. You wake up at 6, you're out of the house by 6:30 and you're going to work for 8 hours. Like, of course you're not doing anything. Wake your ass up at 4 o'clock, do this. Oh, I need my sleep. Well, then your goals aren't big enough. Your why isn't big enough. It's like, I don't know what to tell you,
bro. Yo, man, let me tell you. This right here is like, because I just recently went through this where I was just burned out. And we talked about the burnout piece.
Yeah.
Just released. And like I noticed, like, man, I started to fizzle and fade, man. And things were slipping. I was just like, what the heck? Where am I? Like, I'm just like, I just numb. I was finding myself numbing out.
Yeah.
And one of my things that not vice, one of the things that helps me out of it is like my journeys and like I have my Alona. I got Alona. So I can go and like reset, like what's going on, like what's happening right now, like what you just said, because I know when I get to that space, there's something that that's going on that I'm failing to see. Now, that's one piece, right?
Mm-hmm.
Another piece I want to expand on what you said, asking for the help now, and being willing to ask for the help, because you can have the best community around. But the thing is if you fail to ask them for help, there's no way they can help and support you as you go through this. Because like you said, community will help you because they've been there already.
Yeah.
It's a good mentor to be like, oh, how is some of the best mentors I've had would be like, yo, how's that for you? How'd that work out for you? Sucked, didn't it? Yeah, I know. So what'd you learn? Okay, all right. So listen. So this time, give this a go.
Yeah.
And this, and I'm like, damn. I'm like,
You know what? And people love to talk and help people out.
Yes,
Like
bro.
I would, man, if anybody ever calls me, I'm like, hey, can you help me out? I want to know what you're doing. You know, let's go out for lunch. Let's go out for dinner. Let's go out for coffee, man. Let's chop it up. I love it. You know, because it's and I learned something from other people too. Like I don't go into it like every conversation I have. I always try to leave there with more information, more knowledge than I left. And you can learn something from everybody. You can be the richest man in the world, but you can find a homeless guy in Hong Kong and he'll teach you something that you don't know.
Yeah.
Everyone can teach you something. So like I love having conversations with people. I love helping people out.
Mm,
And you know, it's tough, man. It's
yeah.
tough, especially like I said, when you're an entrepreneur, it's a lonely place. Not just like physically, like because you got to be like, you know, by yourself sometimes, but it
Yeah.
like emotionally and mentally it's lonely because a lot of people don't think like you. You know,
Bruh.
when that switch goes off, for me it's like, man, I don't care. Like I have so much fuel. Like I love the people around me, of course, but like, man, I'm so motivated. I mean, I send you text sometimes early in the morning. I'm like, oh, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this. And you're probably like, what the hell is this guy's like
Nope.
5 a.m. This guy's I must be on a 6 cup of coffee. But I
Nope.
get
No, 'cause I'm
excited,
sending
man.
you stuff too, because I'm a late
Yeah.
night. I'm like, yo, B, we got
Yeah. I'm sleeping after like 10 o'clock, man. If
yep.
I'm up on my 10 o'clock, it's like, man, something's wrong.
Something's up. Something happened. Something
Yeah,
happened.
I'm in bed early because I wake up early.
Brother, man. Listen, yeah, dude, this is thank you for that, man. Thank you for sharing that. Because I think I'm happy that for you all that are listening, you get to hear this because this is the realness, especially when it comes to navigating your health, navigating like your wealth, navigating your spirit, because there's going to be things that are going to throw you off. And we've talked about, first of all, having that the resiliency to continue to move forward and
Yeah,
continue. We talked about community, about having that set community to help you and hold you accountable to help you move forward.
yeah,
I want us to chop it up about the mindset and some actionable steps, bro, because
yeah,
something you just said really resonated with me, and it's resonating because I'm experiencing it with someone in my space right now.
yeah,
And without saying names, it's that person. They're holding on so tight that they're failing to see the impact that they're having. So when I ask questions, when I want to know more, it's like it's seen as like you're saying I'm wrong. You're saying this. You're trying to say I'm wrong. No, I'm looking to know.
yeah,
So uh, the reason I bring that up is because there's a mind shift in mindset. There's a mindset in my mind. There's a mindset shift to be able to endure uncertainty and to be able to hear and get feedback, ask for help, hear the help. And I'm curious for you because you've been able to do that. What are some of the key ways, or what's the mindset that you developed to do that, and how did you develop it?
I said I know exactly what I want out of life.
Mhm.
My goals sometimes change, but I for the most part I know exactly what I want. And I set boundaries. And part of knowing what you want and having these goals is one aspect of it is what kind of people do you want to surround yourself with? And if I'm letting people come through my boundaries that don't serve my purpose, I don't want you. Sometimes you can't control it because it might be like, you know, family sometimes or something like that. But for the most part, like I cut people off. You don't serve me. Like you're just a nuisance in my life. Like, and I hate to be that cold, but like, and at the end of the day, like it's like that Gary V quote. Remember, like he went on a rant, like no one gives a fuck about you. No one gives a fuck about your problems, and that's
Yeah,
true.
yeah, bro.
Especially if you think the person is that's nagging you all the time cares if you become successful or not. They don't care. They care about themselves only, and they're
Yeah,
trying to express that negativity on you. So I think you need to set crystal clear boundaries What kind of people do you want in your life? I don't want people that are whiners, complainers. Listen, everyone gets a 10-second, 20-second vent. After that, put your big boy pants on, big girl pants on, pull them up, and do something. I don't like people that play the victim role. I don't like people that try to manipulate other people. I don't want people like that in my life.
Bro.
Or they try to what's the word where they try to make you feel guilty or
The
whatever.
gaslighting, bull
or show
crap.
them how it's like I don't want to deal with people like that. I just so I set boundaries, and I also know what types of people I want in my life. I want light-hearted people that don't complain, people that are students of the universe. They want to educate. They always want to up level themselves. They want to raise their vibration. They want to have adventures. They want to explore. They want to create things. Those are the type of people I want in my life. Anything else? I don't have time for you, man. And go bother somebody else, man. You're literally a parasite. That's all you are. You're just a parasite, and I'm the host. And I dealt with that shit in my early years, and that's why I was broke half my life. I was broke until I was pretty much 40 something, So until I didn't until I set those boundaries, it's like it's tough to get anywhere.
Bro, yes, man, dude, I'm with you on the boundaries one. That's one I'm working on right now, and
it's tough to maintain it, especially if that person's close to you for a long time.
Bro, can we speak on that for a second, please? Because that's the thing that pulls me. That connection to someone, right? That's the junk for me. I'm learning like what's the boundary and line that I hold and keep, because
what can't you control? Whatever you can't control, just get rid of it.
Yeah, man. And it's interesting, right? Because damn. Yeah, you just gave me the answer right there. Man, bro. Yeah, it's very interesting right now for me because like these people like I gotta cut off. It's like it's tough to do, bro. I'm like mother hoo-ha. But it's like it's not helping me, man. It's not helping me, but it's like it's making me a bitter, dark person, bro. And I like or actually, and I'm gonna say that part of me that I know is in me, it's like it grows when they're present in my life. You know
so
what I mean?
One thing I would ask you is why are you allowing that?
Yeah, I mean, because it's my kid, but I'm like, at this point, I'm like, he's not mine. I'm like, it's weird, bro. I'm like, yo, man, I'm like, dude, listen, can I just set the intention to pay you child support so you guys leave me the fuck alone? Please, right? Because like this is real, right? Like this is the stuff, the instability, like people, especially like with divorces that are going up, like people breaking up, families all fucked up, work is fucked up, money's fucked up. There's a lot of uncertainty that people experience that all of a sudden they keep getting pummeled and then they stop. And I've been there. Like there's times I almost stopped and quit it all. And I was like, no. Yeah. Okay. So I think it's knowing things this is a temporary situation, but also it's like it's really cutting a cord on something that may be like really cutting a cord on a story or something else. You feel what I'm saying, dude?
I know what you're saying,
Yeah, it's fucking weird. It's wild.
Yeah.
It's wild, bro. I'm like,
damn.
Yeah, it is. And that's that's the life piece though, right? And when we talk about the mindset, to me, it hurts a person for soft living will hurt a person in the long run.
Yeah.
It will. If I create an environment that's constantly secure for someone and they never learn how to find their security and stability, they're effed, man. They're done.
Yeah.
You see what I just did? I was cursing a ton like a minute ago. Then I'm like, they're F the F. They're fudged up. I'm like, bro, what the heck was that? Anyway, but you see what I'm saying? Like, yo. So, and that's what I'm seeing. That's the piece where that the elements that are closest to you could be the things that will draw you down into security. And I'm speaking for myself. I'm saying this to others as like, hey, listen, this is possible. And I'm speaking from experience because it's something that I know pulls me into uncertainty. And now that again, like I have people like Brian, I have my men's circle, I got my advisor, so they can like they know where I'm going, so they can help, and they know who I am, even at times where I may fail to know. So they're the ones that help to draw me back. So if you're dealing with uncertainty in your life right now, please, you got to make sure that you have that community, and also you have the mindset to be able to ask for help and receive it. Like, stop playing and know what you're asking for, bruh. Like, because B, you like, and I want to make that point before I stop this rant. You said this many times, like when people come to you, like, hey, I got this great business, yeah. And then you're like, okay, give me a business plan. Oh, yeah, but I'm working on my logo. Oh, no. What? Bro, do you want this business or not, man? What are you asking for? Like, what's the investment? How are you paying me back? How are you going to pay me back? How's this business going to make money? Like, so know what to ask for. Hey, listen, this is the thing. Like, you know where I can use help is like, what if I tell you this thing? Can you tell me where you think I went wrong? Right? Can I buy you a cup of coffee and I ask you a couple questions about this experience I just had? Know what you want to ask for, because now again, you're putting your energy in something else rather than that uncertainty. That uncertainty will eat your ass up, man. Okay, rant's done.
Amen. We both had a rant. I'm a little under the weather, so I'm a little cranky today.
Bruh.
So it's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes being cranky is being authentic.
Dude.
You just don't care.
Thank you. Bro, listen.
Like, you don't like what I'm saying? Fuck you. I'm sick. I don't care.
Sick, it is what it is.
Feeling good.
Dude, it's crazy. I was on the phone with this agency today, and I'm the same. Like, if I'm feeling a certain way, I tell people, like, if it's either I'm good, I'm even, or I'm like not good today. I'm just trashy today. So this woman gets on the phone. She's like, "How are you today?" I was like, "Horrible." And there was silence.
She's like, going to take that.
Okay, well, then in that case, she was like, I'm like, yeah, now you're listening, right? Like, and sometimes I do that on the call, bro, to make sure they listen, because most of the time they just try to go into a script. Like, hey, how are you today? What's he be saying? I'm King Jaffe Jofar from the land of Jamunda. You know what I mean? Is that really your name? No, motherfucker. It's goddamn.
I need to come to your work one day.
Bro, you be cracking up with me, man. Because I'm like, bro, I had this woman on the phone call me with this question. She was like, hey, can you tell me what's the customer service line for X company? I was like, hold on, let me look on Google for a second. All right, so what's Google's telling me when I type in that business that you just gave me is giving me this number here.
She was probably waiting on hold for 15 minutes too, right?
Most likely.
Yeah. That's our world for us, right? That's our world in a nutshell.
And listen, and this it really is. And I was having a conversation with Omar yesterday, one of our past guests, and we were talking about the ability to think, right? Especially with the rise of AI. And listen, and this is another piece. This is another part of uncertainty. Like, a lot of people are like, oh my God, they're going to take our jobs. That's uncertainty for people, right? It could be seen as a threat, could also be seen as an opportunity. It's a threat if you don't think, if you fail to think. It's an opportunity when you know what to ask for. So, for example, ChatGPT. If I'm just like, hey, create me a game plan for 2025. Bruh, Okay. Like, but if I'm like, hey, create a game plan for me so I can make this, then I'm interested in this and this and this, and this is what I've done before, and this is how I'd like to do it, and this is also I have this. If I'm giving them the whole shebang bang, it's gonna be like, oh, word? Oh, hold on. It even said to me the other day, hold on, let me think about that. Go ahead, bro. I'm good. Now it can support me, right? So now I'm saying this is because like what you may perceive as a threat or an uncertain element could end up being your best tool.
Absolutely. A lot of people will lose their jobs because of AI. If not now, within the next few years, 5, 10 years. So find something. Like it
Yo.
was interesting. Like I was watching this video today, and like I always watch like YouTube videos on like, whether it be crypto or like how to invest and do other things like this. And it was this video of this guy. He put like this. He was like, the title was how I make $3,500 a day. To me it's like whatever. I look at him like, all right, can I make 10% of that if on passive income? And
Right.
it was he I literally asked Google Chat like create me a code to like do something with Ethereum and do trade stocks within cryptocurrency for me. And he literally took this code out and like plugged it in. If you guys want to know the video, I'll put in the box. Just write a comment, and it does it all. It automatically does everything. It trades, and it, like at the moment, like all this, like all just like crypto. It's just it. And the guy was making literally. He was showing like live videos. The guy's making like $200-300 an hour, just like doing all this stuff, and he didn't have to do anything. All he do is take this code and he put it in there. But it's like what the point is, like there's so many ways that you can make money. So many ways like you can make money through AI. So stop crying about it and worrying about it taking over. Look at it as an advantage because I guarantee once you find a business, if you use AI and you find a business, it's going to make more than your employer job eventually.
Oh, bro.
As long as you stick with it.
Exactly. You can even add ChatGPT. Hey, man, this is what I'm a people pleasing, lazy motherfucker. What can I do to keep on track?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, listen, man, this is as we're talking about this. I know we had finding motivation in uncertain times. It's almost more like finding the gem in the uncertain times, man.
Yeah.
That's the mindset shift, man.
Yeah, world's always changing. There's always there's so much opportunity out there, man. It's so much opportunity. And people that are like, I don't know what to do. Like, what are you doing so you can know what to do? Oh, nothing. You're watching Netflix 2 hours a day. You're on TV 4 hours a day. You're on your phone for 3 hours a day. You're drinking. You're eating shit food so you don't have the energy to do it. Like, it's impossible. It's really hard not to be at some form of success if you put the time into it.
If you put the time in, you got to be willing though. And listen, I want to scale it. I want to put in one piece because I think there's a judge and it may be a projection from my past experiences that people will, when uncertain times come, when things get rocky, they're going to go to vices, which is the Netflix, right? As much, and I'm going to speak for myself because I can get there, right? And unfortunately, I have vices and people in my life to help pull me out. But like, the vices of like, I'm just going to watch one episode turns into a season, or I'm just going to, I'm going to put on this web browser and pump out some knuckle children, AKA masturbate. I'm just going to freaking go over here and watch this for, do all these little things. It can be overwhelming to think I'm going to change everything. So change one thing. One thing. And it could be something small, but just something to hone and reset yourself. So it could be reading. For me, it's Neville Goddard. I wake up, do my meditation, do my sun salutation, find a Neville Goddard, play, go about my exercise, and do my business. I got to listen to Neville.
He's a good man.
Yeah, man. Like, before, like, I would be like dilly-dallying. I'd scroll. I'd be mindless. Pump out some knuckle, dude.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to process and needed numb time, but like my numb time became, oh man, let me read this book. Oh, this is They're like, you know what? Let me just sit for a second in silence for 15 minutes, man. Anyway,
It goes a long way.
It goes a hell of a long way, God damn it. So listen, that's a key actionable item. When you're sensing uncertainty, just find one task or one thing in your life to help that you can stay consistent with, or that will bring you out of your doldrum or help you stay aligned to that big goal. We talked about that throughout. Like, have something big aligned and go from there, man. Be any
That's it.
last thoughts, bud?
No, just like you said before, like just control, create 3 things within that you can control daily. Maybe your habits, your mindset, your actions. Excuse me, that was the only thing I could think of.
Well said.
Just great habits. That's a big thing.
Yeah.
When you have those habits as your foundation, it's hard to get distracted.
Mm.
That's all I got, man.
Nah, it's good, man. We can start wrapping it up because Brian's post-nasal drip is fucking with him, man. So
Yeah.
it's like
I'm surprised I lasted this long, man. I'm like, man.
Yeah, I'm really good for you, dude. I'm
Yeah.
proud of you, man. Good shit. All right, so I did a lot of cursing in this one, and that's
Right.
okay. So, bro, listen, thank you to everyone that was listening in. I hope you got some great insights. I know it was, for me, B, dude, great convo, bro. And
It was a good conversation, man. Appreciate you.
Man, you too. Appreciate you too. And we appreciate all of you. Thank you for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe. Listen, this is, if you know a lot of people that are struggling with uncertainty, slide this video over to them, share it with them, and let them hear this stuff, because it may be something that just helps them get to that next level. And stay tuned for some cool, fun stuff coming up in the new year. All right, buddy. Peace out.
Peace.